Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new. It's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jewelers reimagines family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Working one-on-one, Duke's designers honor the original story while creating something fresh and modern. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com, where old stories become new treasures.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
What time is it?
Your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jokic throws an outlet pass right to Sensima. He scoots it to Sheedway. Oscar dunks. It's a 6-point game. And David Adelman needs another timeout. Jump pass to Chandler. Chandler penetrates, attacks Jokic, lays it up and in. 10-point game. Jazz aren't going away. Chandler steals Jokic's inbound and lays it up and in. Jazz aren't going away. Offensive rebound, Konchar kicks Dembek. Top to Sensima, off his tippy toes, fires the three, tickles the twine.
Beautiful basketball.
99-93 assist Bezembeng. Leaves behind for Chandler, sets his feet, lets it rip, swirls out, offensive rebound Konchar, out to Bryce, drives with the right hand, attacks Valanciunas, scoops and scores, wrapping the right hand around the 7-foot monster. He put it up and in, and the Jazz were within 4.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. JJ's out of town. Alex Kirry in this seat. Sly Sylvester, former Pittsburgh Steeler and Utah Ute, sitting in this chair next to me. And we have some Jazz to talk about. We did at the top of the show. Talked a little bit about that game last night, which, by the way, this Jazz team, I mean, they could have this Nuggets team's number, I feel like, easily next year. If they kind of already partway had it, I feel like this year – I was like,
with
what is
nobody playing?
The last 2 games against the Nuggets, I'm like, what is going on with this team? Man, you don't have to pretend like you don't want to win, Jokic, by almost not winning. Come on, man.
Still had a triple-double.
Jamal Murray's half-court shot was pretty cool, though. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
We're going to get going here because we're going to kick this thing off. It's the top of the show. We've got Eric Spyropoulos, covers the Jazz for NBA.com. Let's get going right here. Some official music to introduce him.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. TRAJAN Wealth.com. It's Trajan Wealth for all of your trusted needs in retirement. Eric, thanks for being with us, man. 5 games left, my guy. Come on, let's get through this.
Yeah, it'll be over before we know it, really.
We're looking forward to it because – but we seem to be having the same conversation every night about how I think how great it is that these younger guys are getting the minutes that they are. And I know that logging minutes in the NBA, however you do it, is just so overwhelmingly important. I can only imagine that Will Hardy knows how difficult this type of situation is, but also you cannot replace the minutes in the NBA like these guys are getting.
Yeah, definitely not. And Will said pretty much just that last night, both before and after what was another good effort against the Denver Nuggets in, basically talking about how there's a lot of guys that the Jazz are trying to develop almost at the same time, which can be hard to do. But the other thing he's talked about this season is that the locker room has not cannibalized with all these guys, trying to compete with one another for those development opportunities. It's all kind of happening seamlessly within the Jazz system, and they're giving good effort. They're competing against some playoff teams. And like you said, they're getting valuable, 30-plus minutes a night going up against some of the best in the league. And although things will certainly look different for the Jazz next season, and these young guys won't have, maybe the same type of role, the same number of minutes, the opportunities are there for development, and then the development can take another step in a different way next season and help the team when they're competing for the playoffs.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Hardy has this press game speech every single time at this point. I know he's eager for the offseason and pushing forward to straight positivity and knowing that, they're now going for winning after this. But from your eyes, you're close with the Jazz. You see it every night, and there's so much to be taken from the losses and the growth, as you just said, that, the team hasn't cannibalized itself. These guys are getting valuable time, and it's very hard to do with so many. How have you seen the growth of some of these players going up? We were kind of talking earlier about Flip and Cody and like who's actually made the biggest jump on the team, outside of Keontae. But from your opinion of these younger guys, how has that development gone, and what do you foresee in the offseason?
Yeah, I think you can point. I think that the positive is that you can point to with each of the Jazz young players, to certain things that have been areas of growth. Bryce Sensabaugh still has become a really good, consistent scorer, even though he isn't shooting the three as well as last year, and that's because he's shooting his best percentage inside the arc and around the rim. Kyle Filipowski, has been shooting less threes this year in terms of, his volume, but he's been more decisive in terms of when to attack inside the arc and is still providing that playmaking. I think the two guys you're probably most excited about in terms of their development and just their potential, ability to impact the Jazz moving forward are Ace Bailey, obviously, which is, he's been the talk of the past month, and Cody Williams. I think Cody Williams has had a really, really strong second half of the season. He's been, hitting jumpers in the mid-range. He's been more aggressive as a scorer. He's been a really good cutter. He had a career-high 9 assists last night. And defensively, he's got the length and the athleticism to make life difficult for opposing guards, especially. And Ace Bailey, his March was, a breakout month for him. Averaged over 19 points a game, shot 40% from three on a high volume. He continues to do all the little things that people, coming into the season didn't necessarily expect him to do. Cutting, offensive rebounding, defensively, he's been really good around the rim recently. So I think if you're looking at those two specifically, considering how valuable wings are in today's NBA and two-way play, you have to be really excited about the growth and development from Ace Bailey and Cody Williams.
Eric, when you see these guys and they are getting those minutes, and then you look and see what the roster could look like next season, and everybody's trying to guess what a starting lineup would look like. But obviously in the type of draft that the Jazz are hoping for is that they're picking the best talent available still, and not just obviously not by by just a position. But if it were a perfect world, what player matches up with being one of the best in the draft and a position that the Jazz actually do need to make sure that they shore up for next year?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And like you said, I think always drafting for talent, especially when you're at the top of the draft, continues to make the most sense. But, if you're looking at next year's roster, at least as it looks right now, obviously things can change with free agency or trades. I think you're looking at a Jazz roster that should have a pretty deep front court. Starting, potentially Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., Walker Kessler. Kyle Filipowski has been playing both spots in the front court. Maybe a Yusuf Nurkic re-signs. Guys like Ace Williams and Ace Bailey and Cody Williams, can play on the wing. And so you're looking at some potential backcourt needs. Obviously Keontae had a breakout season. Isaiah Collier had a good sophomore campaign, kind of change of pace guard off the bench. But if you're looking at the top of the draft in terms of a guy like Darren Peterson, who could come in and be that two guard of the future, next to a Keontae George, I think you'd have to feel really excited about that fit. On the same hand, AJ Debantha, he is a similar wing type who is a bigger guy, probably more of a front court player, but with that kind of perimeter skill set offensively, that's something that Will Hardy would certainly be able to fit into the system as well.
Yeah, but that's size, right? And you say you have AJ playing the two, and you have that big front court with Jaren, Walk, and Markkanen, and then you bring in an AJ. I'm always interested exactly how it goes. Of course, you don't know which pick you're going to get with your lottery, but once you do get it, I think the top 7 picks in this draft are going to be quality guys.
That's what they say
from the boozers, but or just other people around. It's very interesting to where the Jazz would go with this. Is there a potential bad pick? Right? Is there getting too many front court guys? Is there, you just labeled a couple guys of re-signing Nurkic. You got Flip that could potentially be coming off the bench, and 6'7". What type of rotation is the Jazz going to have to work with compared to they get the 5th spot in the draft and the top players are a boozer, and so they're increasing that. How does that look for the Jazz?
I think they're in an interesting position where, depending on where the pick lands, how the board and draft night plays out will kind of dictate, I think, their decision. The top 3 or 4 is kind of a consensus at this point with AJ, Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, and then Caleb Wilson out of North Carolina. Once you get past pick 4, you enter this kind of guard-heavy range. And so I think if the Jazz do end up with anywhere from the 5th to the 8th pick, just by how things will likely play out on draft night in terms of who gets selected before their pick, they likely are looking at one of those guard options that have been kind of mocked in the top 10. But if you landed a pick 2, a pick 3, you will have a choice to make. And in some cases, maybe, it might be better to have your choice made for you in a way in these kind of situations. But given Will Hardy's offensive system and just where the NBA is today, with not necessarily focused on position, but more importantly, the skill set of players, it's hard to say that they could make a bad choice, regardless of if they take someone like a Cam Boozer, who in theory, yes, will play probably a power forward position in the NBA, but you're really looking at how does his skill set fit in with other guys. Right. Larry Markin is 7 feet tall, but he's more of a perimeter player. He plays a lot of small forward because of his skill set. And so I think because of that and where the league is today, it's hard for the Jazz to make, what would be considered a bad pick in this year's draft position-wise.
Let's say that they run down the Kings. They catch up to the Kings in the other direction, obviously. Getting to that 4th spot would obviously guarantee that they wouldn't convey. But as it is, and wherever they end up, if the numbers really played out like they would, I'll pretend like the other stuff hasn't happened in years past that have just been absolutely crazy results from the lottery. If it just plays out kind of from a numbers game and the Jazz are picking 4th, 5th-ish, is there any possibility that the Angels and Jay-Z would get wild and throw down some crazy stuff to get that first pick?
I mean, you can never rule out anything, especially with Danny Ainge's history of trading, especially with draft picks. I think in this draft, considering that as of right now, from all the reporting, there isn't necessarily a strong consensus on who the number 1 pick will be. I think AJ and Darren Peterson have kind of probably been, mocked a little bit more often at number 1, right. But considering how close, the top 3 or even some cases, top 4, it just almost might depend on who would get that pick on lottery night. And also, the Jazz still have some additional draft picks in their ledger, and obviously they have a lot of young players on the roster, but they did use a couple of those draft picks to get Jaren Jackson Jr., and so you would be kind of having to evaluate how much do you believe in player X to move up to get them, and at what price it would take. We have seen also Danny Ainge do a draft night trading down from the 1st overall pick.
Yes.
In that Jason Tatum draft, and that worked out really well for him and the Boston Celtics. So there could be a scenario where the Jazz get lottery luck and potentially evaluate options to move down if they think that the guy that they like will still be there at a later pick.
Yeah, and I think that works for them, right? If the consensus isn't super strong at 1, and a team could take it or leave it with maybe they like Darren Peterson more than AJ DeMonte, but they know the Jazz maybe want him, so they could get something out of him. But if the Jazz really want that guy and they want to go after him, if teams are kind of like, yeah, I mean, he's really, really good, but we could take 3 guys and feel pretty good about it, there might be a better option for him there. But these last 5 games, lots on the road, 4 on the road and 1 at home with Memphis. How do these 5 games shake out? Because it's always interesting to see what teams like OKC, obviously, who are not going to have to be firing on all cylinders for the rest of that actual season. Although I know they want to win and probably get that number 1 overall seed, but are there any teams possibly like shutting it down maybe over that last week as they get ready, or the last 2 weeks as they head into the offseason? And how do the Jazz fare in these last 5 games?
Yeah, I mean, it's always an interesting question. I think with playing Houston, tomorrow night, the Rockets are in a pretty intense battle for playoff positioning. Right now they're in the 5th seed. They're only a half game up on 6, and they're 1.5 games behind the Nuggets at 4. So you have to think that the Rockets are going to keep pushing for it. Like you said, Oklahoma City, they might start selectively resting guys, but they are still holding off the Spurs, who are 2 games behind them for the number 1 seed in the conference. That can make a difference in a potential Western Conference Final series. Then you look at a matchup against New Orleans, who has not been shutting guys down because they don't own their first-round draft pick this year because of the draft night trade last year.
Yep.
And so they've been continuing to play their guys and have been going for wins. And, Memphis is a team that has been, essentially just kind of focusing all on the young guys, getting guys minutes, similar to what the Jazz have been doing. And so that'll be a matchup between 2 squads that have really lengthy injury reports. And then the Lakers – on the last night of the regular season will be interesting because they are also right now in the 3rd seed, but only 1.5 games above the Nuggets, who have won 7 straight. So maybe by next Sunday that could be decided, in which case they would rest all their guys. But the other wrinkle of this is that with the add-in of the play-in tournament, all those teams that aren't in the play-in tournament do get that week off until the playoffs start the following weekend. So some teams have kind of approached it differently in recent years.
Eric Spyropoulos, he covers the Jazz for NBA.com, and he does a phenomenal job. Spyro, appreciate it, man. Thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you hopefully before the very, very end of the season so we can get kind of the full rundown here. But we appreciate you joining us, man.
Thanks. Anytime, guys.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I think the end of this NBA season is going to be interesting. I really do love the last race as you enter the playoffs, man. You see the teams that are fighting for actual positions. It's not as set as more people would have it, and normally it's not even determined until that last game is actually played, from play-in tournament spots to 3rd and 4th positions, or 4th and 5th positions in the playoff seeding, man. So going to be interesting versus exactly what he said, from the top teams that are like, look, I still am fighting for first place. I'm only a game or 2 games away from the Spurs, so I got to make some things happen, versus the Jazz are like, just beat me, please. Just beat the brakes off me and send me home. And so, yeah, I think the end of the season is going to be extremely interesting in the NBA.
All right. Before I was looking at this and I was wondering about what the so that's real then. If they finish with the same record, they'd toss a coin. Now that's why I love April. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking forward to in April. I guess it would be in May. Dang it.
Oh, God.
But still, I thought, but maybe the coin flip happens at the very end of the season. Come on. Let's do it.
No lottery luck for the Jazz, but maybe the coin flip will give them a little bit of luck.
Listen.
What other sports had the coin flip?
Oh,
was that? No, I think that's.
Did the Pac-12 did the Pac-12 have to do it that one year?
If
Utah?
you have a tie, we looked at it too for the Big 12 tiebreakers.
It was like the 5th choice for like all the way down. If this is this, if they're still tied by the 5th that no one ever gets down to, then they'd toss the coin.
Hey, man, I still think we should go back to the Westerns and do a draw. 10 steps and pull.
Brick killed a guy.
I did with the trident.
That it turns into that. It's like, how'd your lottery go?
One of our guys had to bite
Justin
the dust.
Zanuck killed a guy. That's how we got. That's how we moved up in the lottery.
His sacrifice will be remembered.
Yay! All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll come back, and when we do, we have ourselves a couple things to still jam on this hour. But more importantly, we've got a best and worst you don't want to miss later on in the program. We've also got some chat about the Mammoth, of course, who are firing up against the Kraken tonight over these very airwaves. So stay with us. More to go. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The biggest name.
You're locked in to JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. The Mammoth are taking on the Kraken tonight. And I watched the Kraken play. Oh, who was it the other night? I've been watching so much dang hockey. I'm a sicko because I'm going across the league now. I'm popping between games when I get home because there's hockey on every night somewhere during the month of April. And I'm watching all of this, and because I look and I go, all right, I want to see what the Sharks are made of. I want to see what the Kings are made of still. I want to know what you're going to get if the Preds start to run down the Mammoth. And I got a boost of confidence from Mike Folta today in our interview. You go back and listen to Mike Folta.
Right.
And he goes, the thing is all those teams you just mentioned, because I'm talking about how, we're talking the Kings. I think the Oilers are going to wrap up, one of those top spots in the Pacific. But again, it's not that doesn't mean anything. They're not very good. It's not that they're not very good. That's not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the divisions, like where everybody's fighting it out, including the Central Division, where you have 3 teams over 100 freaking points almost. Then you have the Pacific, where the top team has 86 or whatever it is, or 87. And that's a wild card spot for everybody else in the league. And so when Mike Folta said, yeah, but all the teams you just mentioned, I'm not afraid. I don't think the Mammoth, and afraid is the wrong word. The Mammoth would be favored in all of those matchups except for a couple of them where they're just right now kind of 50-50. And so as the wild card team playing supposedly the top of the Western or the Pacific Division in the West, and so I'm supposed to go, yeah, but that's the thing is that they've been playing in a tougher division all year, as evidenced by going 0-4 against the Blackhawks.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that you guys?
Is that evidence?
You want to know something?
Or just
you want to know something?
Crap luck.
Go 3-1 against the worst team in your conference or in your division,
and you're still up there.
And you would have had. They would have 88 points right now, and they would be basically guaranteed to stay at that wild card 1 spot.
Right.
So right now the odds are still really, really good for them, but you have to win in Seattle tonight. And the Kraken right now, and I was looking at what it looks like because they're playing in Seattle for the first time in 2.5 weeks. They were on the longest road trip.
Yeah, since March 17th.
And gosh, that is such a long time. And I wonder if they're going to get if they're going to get a boost from being at home. Obviously, you like playing at home more. You like being in your own barn. But I'm telling you, going to see how this one's going to match up. I'm just trying to look at what the spread would be if you even have that. The Mammoth are 2-0 against the Kraken this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fighting, man. They're only 4-5-1 in their last 10 games. They got to be there, man. They got to get more than that. But Barrett Hayton's still out with the upper body injury for the Mammoth, and the Kraken are coming into this thing with a couple injuries as well. Shane Wright and Ryan Winterton are both not going to be playing for the Kraken. So at the end of all of this, man, the Mammoth need this win. The Vancouver Canucks look like a gimme, except for after the trade deadline, they've been playing pretty darn good. Yeah. Certainly compared to what they were. Like I said, last night I'm watching this game, and again, it's just one game, but they are playing the best team in all of hockey at their place. They're playing them in Colorado. They're at Ball Arena, and they score first, and then the Avalanche come right back and score within like 24 seconds. And I was like, all right, here we go. And then they just kept scoring. The game ends 8-6.
In favor of the Canucks.
And the Canucks put 8 goals in. 7 of them were against Blackwood, I think.
On the team with the biggest point differential. Like massive.
90 goals above all of their opponents this year. After that, it's like 38.
It's 45, I think.
45. And it's, guess what? Yeah. The other team in this division, too. It's the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's wild to see all these teams. I'm interested to see what version of this Mammoth team, because I think they're going to start feeling that crunch, and you're going to see these games, and they're going to look and go,
well, that's the biggest thing, too.
We have to have these. You have to get Seattle. You have to get Vancouver. Please, because that would feel so much better for Mammoth fans to be like, okay, they got 6 points in the last 2 nights. If that's the case, they're at 88.
Yeah.
And you're feeling a lot better about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing, too, and I wonder if that narrative's going through the locker room of, we're 0-3, and is that what Falta said? 0-3 after 4 days rest, before another game counting.
Hate that.
And so are you thinking about that? Or like for me, you're an athlete, like you're like, okay, we got to make an end of the season push here.
Right.
And so I needed that little rest. Now I feel refreshed. Now I'm going to go out there and understand the moment. The moment is we got to go right now. And so is that going to be the Mammoth tonight and then Saturday against the Canucks, and in this last 8-game stretch. And so, it's going to be extremely interesting. I'm excited to see how the Mammoth take this, because I can't. Falta was just like, cash it in. Let's go to Vegas. The Mammoth are definitely in the playoffs, so I can't wait to see a playoff game here at the Delta Center barn. And it's just
you're gonna bring your special jersey. You had embroidered just for you.
Oh, yeah, of course. Why would I wear anything else? I might wear 2 of them so I can switch it at the period.
What number did you get?
It's funny. My black one's 55, and then my white one's 10. So,
Of course.
Got to represent up in there. But no, man, end of season push is great. Playoff push. I've been a part of sports and that type of excitement. And, just listen to the players and their interviews and how they're getting ready for this and understand the moment. And especially, we talked to these guys the last couple of years, especially the shift from the Arizona Coyotes to coming up here and how important this part of the season is. And when we've interviewed Bill Armstrong and him talking about this is what we've been waiting for. So this is very important in that building. And I think something that they're taking really serious. So I'm looking forward to a great outing by the Mammoth tonight.
Doesn't it feel like a cuss word to say Arizona Coyotes?
It does.
It's weird. Right?
I kind of slurred a little bit.
Now, what's interesting is that my sons, they went and got some. We have a collector card shop that showed up that just opened up near us, and they went in and I gave them like $10 and they could buy. It was awesome because they have cards that you can buy that are 1, 2.
You can buy some with $10 these days.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But they have cards across the entire place. They have a little sticker on them, and each sticker represents a price point. And they have a ton of $1 ones. They have a ton of $2 ones. A ton of $3. So you kind of just have to decide what you want to do. They walk straight over to the hockey section, and they're like, I want this veggie one. He's wearing the Coyotes jersey.
Get it.
And I was like, yeah, but a couple of these are rookie ones. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Get it with the Coyotes one. So they did. They walked away with a bunch of that, and I was like, there you go.
Nice.
And,
see, you got to teach value and what it's going to be like here in 10 years.
But like I said, it feels weird to say it. Feels really weird to say. All right, we'll come back. When we return, we have a best and worst for you. Don't want to miss it. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancial.com financialplanner.com.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, best and worst right here on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Okay, best and worst goes like this. Here's the best. And the amount of AI/photoshopped images of this just make me happy. Kirk Cousins has agreed to a 1-year contract with the Raiders where he could potentially be mentoring Fernando Mendoza, who is likely the first pick in the draft, and the Raiders are currently odds-on favorite to pick in the draft. Both men of God, okay? Both might kill you with their smile. Both the nicest people in the world. Both have no business in the black and silver, necessarily.
Lloyd would beg to differ.
What I love about these is all the pictures that everybody AI'd with this thing. Is that a verb, by the way? I just AI'd it.
Should be.
Max Crosby's in there with them, and they like the full body tattoo ones are really great.
Oh yeah.
They're all drinking like a Four Loko and the full body tattoos. And Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza look like
brothers.
They look like they are brothers. And so it works out great. And like I said, it also looks like they'll come to your house and preach the gospel, right? So
they can play all the roles. I love that for Vegas.
And Lloyd said it too. Is like, I don't know who his agent is, but
it's great.
He got him another guaranteed contract.
That's all you can ask for.
Now, look, the big one was, of course, coming in Atlanta, which didn't work out. He had $100 million guaranteed. They came to him.
It worked out for somebody.
It worked out for his bank account for sure.
I mean, he's definitely not going to have Hall of Fame stats because of injuries and this and that. But like, what he had 180 guaranteed.
I thought it was 100. Either way.
Yeah, and then
it was 180 as a contract, and I think it was at least 110 or something like that guaranteed. So
it's just wild. Anyways, Kirk Cousins is killing it. Is he 15, 16 years in the league and still getting $20 million guaranteed?
Are you
contracts?
okay with him mentoring a brand new quarterback in the league, a guy who hasn't had a ton of success?
Well, here's the thing: is I think he's in a different place than he was at Atlanta because I think when they drafted Penix, that wasn't part of the plan.
No.
And I don't think that's what he wanted to do. But understanding where he's at in his career and what's happened the past couple of years, I'll take that. I'll take that mentorship, and I'll be the guy. And of course, Tom Brady's gonna be at the focal point of that relationship and exactly what needs to happen. But man, I think it's a great scenario for the Raiders. Not many Raiders fans out here, but for them, all the
There's
free
a ton
agency
of Raider fans out here. Are you kidding?
I mean,
you throw a stick and you hit one of them. They'll murder you after that, but
they'll probably think you're flirting with them when you do that. But yeah, I just think the moves that they made in free agency, the things that they're working up to, the team that they have right now, they're doing exactly what they need to do to be, a definite contender, especially in the tough AFC West.
All right, the other best is Curt Cignetti finally responded back to Sonny Dykes going after the now Indiana quarterback Josh Hoover, who is of course at. Do we have the which one? Do we have all of it? Here's the Sonny Dykes one, and I'll tell you how Curt Cignetti responded to it.
Stats are stats, and I think you look for us, and I think Josh started 31 games here as a quarterback, and we turned the ball over 40. He turned the ball over 42 times in those 31 starts.
So obviously, the 55-year-old guy going after the kid who just transferred out, he's not loving it. So are you telling me, Sonny Dykes, that he wouldn't have been the starter for you? Bar none? Okay.
Even with all those turnovers?
I mean, he turned the ball. He, by himself, lost all these games for us. Curt Cignetti came right back at him and said, first of all, I love Josh. He's been awesome so far. It's been great. And he came in and talked about how he's like, yeah, I think we could work on some of the things that he should improve his game on. But I'll tell you what, when he came here to Indiana, he found his 2 new best friends. This was the best thing I've ever heard. He found his 2 new best friends, a great defense and an effective run game. So I think he's pretty happy here. So number 1, it's old school. Number 2, it's a shot back at Sonny Dykes. And what the heck are you going to say to Curt Cignetti, who just took Indy freaking Anna to the gosh dang national championship
16-0,
game, and
16-0.
you won it?
Just got a huge contract, $20 million a year, or $12 million a year.
Oof.
Take that, Dykes.
World Cup tickets, by the way, are they coming down? Those prices coming down? The final.
No, they just went up.
I know. I was laughing at all of our misery not being able to watch a World Cup game. The final tickets, as in the World Cup final.
Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah, you're looking at over 10, 12 grand, like, to get into the building. That's double the average ticket price of a Super Bowl.
Is it like $2,500 for standing room only?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. You going to go see Messi? Annapolis? No. Did you touch the World Cup last night? Or did you go see it?
No. They had it behind a glass. I did not touch it, unfortunately.
But you saw it in person.
I did see it in person.
In
all of its glory.
Bucket list. Boom.
Top 10 life experience.
And what you do is you go, when I was hanging out with the World Cup. When I was in proximity to the World Cup, I thought a couple things. People were like, but Annapolis is like, you going to go see World Cup tonight over at America First Field? I was like, what? World Cup. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about right now. The trophy. The trophy that Pelé, Maradona, my guy, Messi, all held up. And you got to see it in person. All right. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. More to go right around the corner. 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.